For centuries, whispered legends in hidden traditions have spoken of an ancient practice, a spiritual key so powerful and so transformative that it was deliberately kept secret, not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well, capable of opening the most sacred gateway of all, the true, unfiltered memory of your soul. This technique doesn't teach you anything new. Instead, it was designed to methodically undo the greatest deception ever perpetrated upon humanity, the subtle, pervasive lie that convinced us we were small, separate, and powerless, the lie that made us forget our own divine origin. What if, today, you could begin to remember? What if the voice you have been searching for outside of yourself has been waiting patiently within you all along? Just beneath the noise, this video is an invitation to a practice once considered forbidden, not because it is dark, but because it shines a light so bright that those who thrive in the shadows have always feared it. Are you ready to remember? Almost every ancient culture shares a common, quiet whisper that spans continents and centuries, the idea that humans have forgotten who they really are. That life as we know it is like a dream, a beautiful and sometimes painful veil separating us from our true, boundless selves, and that there are specific paths designed to awaken that sacred memory. But here's the catch. These practices aren't found in mainstream history books or schools. They were hidden, fanned, or twisted into superstitions. For example, imagine the silent stone halls of an ancient Egyptian temple. Here, the priests of the houses of life would guide initiates through a secret ritual. This wasn't a lecture. It was an experience. The initiate would undergo a symbolic death, their body lying still for hours as their consciousness was carefully guided through the subtle realms of spirit. When they returned, they were irrevocably changed. They had not just learned something, they had remembered. In the hidden groves of ancient Greece, the Orphic mystery schools taught that the soul was a divine spark, temporarily clothed in flesh. Through ecstatic chants and specific breathing patterns, they practiced a technique to allow the soul to momentarily free itself and glimpse its own immortal, divine origin. And in the serene forests of ancient India, the rishis, the great wise seers, spoke of smarana, the sacred act of remembering. To them, ignorance was not a lack of information, but a profound disconnection. The path back wasn't about accumulating more knowledge, but a radical process of unlearning, of becoming silent enough to hear the truth that was always within. Across all these traditions, the essence was the same: remembrance, not learning. So why was this knowledge suppressed? When spirituality became institutionalized, when inner truth was replaced by external authority, these direct paths to personal power were deemed dangerous. Dangerous to whom? To any system that requires its followers to remain asleep and forgetful of their own sovereignty. A soul that remembers who it truly is can no longer be controlled. Today, this knowledge is resurfacing, not as something new, but as a memory awakening in those ready to receive it. To understand the power of this forbidden technique, we first need to rethink everything. The soul doesn't need to learn who it is. It needs to remember. And that memory is not a thought. It is a vibration. When that specific frequency activates inside you, all that is false begins to crumble away, and all that is true shines forth. The technique itself is not a set of words, but an internal process of alignment. Imagine your soul is a perfect, luminous melody, but it is covered by layers of static and noise, outside beliefs, past traumas, societal conditioning. This technique works like a divine tuning fork. It doesn't add anything new. It simply removes what is blocking the original sound. As it does, that original, beautiful melody begins to play again. This process has three main phases. First is the deprogramming of the false self. This is the most courageous step, the great unlearning. The technique teaches you to become a silent, compassionate witness to your own mind. You sit in stillness and begin to ask the forbidden questions. Is this fear that I feel truly mine? Or is it an echo of my mother's? Is this ambition that drives me truly mine? Or is it a script I inherited from society? You don't fight these thoughts. You simply see them for what they are, borrowed clothes that no longer fit. Second is the activation of your inner sense. As the noise of the false self begins to fade, a new faculty awakens. It is not logical, it is not emotional, it is a direct, intuitive perception. This technique uses ancient tools to tune into it. Mindful breathing that quiets the mental chatter, and the focused visualization of sacred symbols. Imagine holding the image of a single, unwavering flame in your heart. This is not fantasy. It is a sacred technology. The soul communicates in a language of symbols, and when you present it with these universal keys, an inner flame, a heart's lotus, you don't create an idea, you awaken a living, breathing experience within. The third and final phase is the most profound, resonance with your true name. The ancient traditions knew that your soul has a unique vibrational signature, a sacred frequency that is yours and yours alone. This technique teaches you how to embody a certain state of being that calls this name. It is not a word you speak, but a vibration you become, and when you hit that note, the recognition is instantaneous and absolute. It is a feeling of coming home after 1,000 lifetimes of exile. A powerful, quiet certainty washes over you. This is me. I have always been this. I just forgot. This process doesn't happen overnight. But once it starts, something irreversible happens. A part of you begins to watch your life from a deeper, calmer, and more real place, and that is when the true journey begins. As the technique takes root and the light begins to turn on in that long-forgotten inner room, what is it that you begin to see? What are the specific, tangible signs in your daily life that your soul's memory is returning? What are the beautiful and sometimes challenging symptoms of this sacred awakening? That is the next step of our exploration. As this sacred technique takes root within you, the remembrance is not just a fleeting insight, it becomes a tangible, living presence. It begins to show up in your life as a series of signs, the beautiful and sometimes challenging symptoms of this great awakening. But be warned, as your inner light grows stronger, it illuminates everything. Not everything you discover will be pure light. When you remember your true, luminous nature, you must also, by necessity, become aware of everything that is not that, the unhealed wounds, the karmic patterns, the parts of yourself you have rejected in the shadows. They will surface to be seen. Do not fear this. This is not a punishment. It is a profound purification. You cannot embrace your whole soul without also embracing your whole story. This technique doesn't just show you your light. It illuminates everything you have hidden, so that it may finally be integrated and healed with compassion. As you deepen in this practice, you may begin to enter what can only be described as a conscious trance. This is not a state of being lost or zoned out, as psychology might describe it. It is a state of hyper-presence. It's as if your ordinary, ego-driven consciousness takes a gentle step back, and your soul, your highest self, steps forward to look through your eyes. You are fully aware of your body and your surroundings, but you feel the subtle, peaceful distance from the drama. Faults arise, but they no longer control you. Time itself seems to become more fluid and spacious. It is from this quiet, expanded center that true, unshakable wisdom flows. You begin to live from a new center, and once that happens, nothing is the same. Your life continues, but something inside you has woken up to never truly sleep again. This is why the technique was called forbidden, not because it is dangerous to you, but because it is a threat to everything that has kept you asleep. But awakening is not a one-time event. Bringing this remembrance into your daily life is what turns a seeker into a sage. True spiritual power isn't about having a profound experience in a quiet cave. It's about staying awake in the middle of the noise. Here are 5 living principles to integrate this practice. 1. Practice active silence. The soul remembers best in stillness. This is not just the absence of noise, but a silence of full, undivided attention for a few minutes each day. Simply be with yourself. Don't seek visions or answers. Simply offer your own presence to your own being, like a loving friend sitting by your side. This daily act creates a sanctuary inside you, a quiet space where the echo of your soul's true name can be heard more and more clearly. 2. Turn your actions into ceremony. One of the keys to maintaining remembrance is to sanctify the mundane. When you drink your morning tea, do it with presence, honoring the warmth and the nourishment. When you walk, feel the solid earth beneath your feet, supporting you. Before you act, ask a simple, silent question. Am I moving from a mask or from my soul? When you begin to live from your soul, even washing the dishes can become a sacred act of purification, keeping your remembrance alive. 3. Be mindful of what you feed your mind. Imagine the temple of your mind. What are you allowing to enter through its gates? Your soul's memory is a delicate flame. The constant flood of meaningless distractions, negative conversations, and chaotic imagery from the outside world is like a harsh wind that threatens to extinguish it. Care for your attention like a skilled alchemist tending a sacred fire. Protect your inner space, for it is where your soul's memory resides. 4. Speak less, and from a deeper place. In a world full of noise, learn the power of resonant speech. Do not just repeat the words and opinions of others. When you choose to speak, let your voice rise from that quiet, scented place you have been cultivating. Words spoken from soul remembrance carry a different frequency. They have the power to heal, to clarify, and to awaken others. Let your voice be a channel not for ego, but for truth. And 5. Act as if you already remember. This is not faking it. It is a powerful act of energetic tuning. The soul does not reveal its full glory in an environment of constant doubt. It responds to your willingness to live in alignment with its truth. Even before you fully grasp it, walk like you carry an ancient legacy within you. Love like you have loved for centuries. Live from the truth of who you know you are, deep down, and that truth will grow stronger and clearer within you every single day. For centuries, we've been told that awakening is difficult, a privilege for a select few. But the most forbidden truth is not complicated. It is simple, direct, and it is already inside you. This journey we have started is a map back to a place you never truly left. You are not the name you use every day. You are not the role you play at work. You are a vibrant, eternal note in a cosmic symphony. And you just forgot. We all forgot. But you can remember. Remembering who you are changes everything. You stop seeing enemies and start seeing mirrors. You stop chasing love because you realize you are love. This isn't an empty promise. It's an invitation, a path that is beautiful, but not always comfortable, because it will strip away everything that isn't you, so that your true self can finally, gloriously emerge. If this message stirred something within you, if a quiet part of your soul whispered, yes, do not let your mind talk you out of that feeling. Subscribe to this channel, not just as a follower, but as a fellow rememberer. This is not just a channel, it is a signal for those who are ready to awaken. To anchor this journey in your own life, share a powerful declaration in the comments below. I am ready to remember. Your words, shared with intention, add to the collective field of awakening on this planet. Share this video, because there is no revolution greater than a single soul that has remembered its own light. Thank you for being here. The remembering has already begun.